Sure.
Old boss, Frankie C, same as the new boss. We got some crazy killer breaking news from the Epstein world. We haven't talked about Mr. Epstein in a little while. DOJ puts out a huge memo last night, basically saying nothing to see here, no client
What a
list,
bunch of horse shit, by the way.
no foul play, no, nothing. This is the most bold faced lie I've seen a government tell people in.
It just, and there's no shame either. There's no like, I don't understand why. We'll get into it. Fine.
Yeah. All right. Tucker Carlson's latest interview is causing some controversy, and Kamala on Subway takes. There's not a lot of topics, but boy, there is a lot to this podcast episode.
This is crazy.
Worst cover-up in the history of cover-ups. Forget the
United
States of America.
It's not. They're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, oh, I don't even know what they could have said, but this is not it. I mean, this is like a blatant, obvious, you're full of shit thing. I mean, how is that not immediately? Every question should be you're lying. Every press interview, whenever they do the thing in the White House, every person should be like, yeah, you're lying about that. Why are you lying? Well, what's going on with that?
I have a clip from today's press briefing, so I'll share that with you. We'll share with you the video footage from the prison. We'll share with you Pam Bondi's past quotes, which will be helpful in putting this all together.
Yeah.
We're going to share with you.
I like my favorite was I have a stack on my desk that I'm looking through. Now all of a sudden that stack it doesn't even exist anymore.
Yep. And we'll go through this 2-page memo that was released by the DOJ on a Sunday night. That's all to come on this first segment here as we get into the DOJ Epstein memo. But I want to start with a Frankie C quote. Frankie C, this man before you that you see here.
I rarely get quoted. What did I say?
Just a few weeks ago, months ago, whatever it was, I don't know when. But you can put the quote here and Frankie C underneath it. We will never see the Epstein list.
Thank you.
Quote Frankie.
Even I said that. I remember saying that when
a long time ago. You said that. You said that a long time ago.
I did say it a long time ago, but I said it. There was a week where they were saying on Monday we're going to release the list or something like that, and I said, I don't think so. I said, no, you're not. That's the one. I could have put money on it. And they released nothing, and then now it doesn't even exist.
I said, your old pal Anthony said, friend of the Republicans, friend of the conservatives, friend of the MAGA people. No judgment here. But the administrations, they got DOJ rolling. They're cutting deals. They're going to release files. They're on fire right now. I'm like, they said, it's going to come Monday, Frank. It's going to come Monday. Frankie C was like, we will never see that list. Frankie C turned out to be right. That's what I get for siding with the MAGA people. Is that what I get, MAGA people? See what happens.
You have a question about any of this, you ask your old pal Frankie C, and I'll let you know what's going to happen.
It's because
if it's something that makes this administration look bad, like this would be a major holy shit thing, they're never gonna show it. It's like it's nowhere near, but it's his tax returns, is going back to something as simple as his grades in school are never released because we know he's an idiot. Why wouldn't? Oh, I'm a genius, got the best IQ, highest IQ, ever of any president. Okay,
all right, holster it up, big man. Just put it.
No, I can't. I can't do it.
You're whipping it all out.
I'm whipping it up. This is something that is so blatant, and it's not even like we don't know why they would do this. Why would they cover? Why would they say this doesn't exist? Because he's all over the fucking thing. That's why.
Is this? I think this is the biggest blunder for the Trump administration up to date, and that includes the Signal mishap with inviting a journalist into your conversation about an attack.
Every week, it's a new blunder. Everything's a blunder.
This is so bad, Frank. This is so bad. Let me make a prediction here. This will occupy the news cycle for the next month.
I'll make you another prediction. We're going to hear this will be over in a week and a half because we'll be on to the next gigantic piece of bullshit.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree. It's not going to dominate. It's not going to be front page headline news every day for the next month. But I don't think that this administration is going to escape with this poor answer for a while. Like I cannot see, and they all know. Wait until we get to the press conference from the White House today. Like I don't know how it wasn't every single question.
I can tell you what the press conference. The press conference is going to be. Oh, you'll have to talk to to Pam Bondi. I don't know what you're talking about. Pam Bondi has all the answers there. That's not my department. So next question. And then when they talk to Pam Bondi, it'll be, we looked through everything. We couldn't find a thing. And she'll just lie through her teeth. And we'll say, oh, well, what about when you said you were looking through everything months ago? Oh, we released everything we had and blah, blah, blah. They're just going to dance around it and come up with excuse after excuse. And it's not going to be enough. It's not, but the problem is they're the ones in charge, so they're never going to get called on this stuff. So it's all just another day of Trump getting away with everything.
Well, this is you make a good point, but this is up to MAGA country now. This is up to the MAGA supporters because powerful movement, right? Trump claims biggest movement in the country. It certainly is a movement. Okay, can I?
No.
Can we make a point without turning people off to the show?
No.
It's a big movement, and it's been blindly following the president up to date on basically everything. And
the response is going to be the MAGA response is going to be. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
The MAGA response is going to be, I trust the president, and if he says there's nothing there, well, then there's nothing there. That's going to be the response.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. It depends.
He's gotten away with everything so far, so why would this be any different?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the percentage of followers that abandon him. Oh, I don't know. I wonder. I think he's gonna. I think this is gonna be the thing that he loses the most people over today.
He'll lose 5 people. That's probably it.
5 people.
Because everybody, like the MAGA people are so all in. I feel this is just from.
But this was
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I hear what you're saying, but this was one of the things that they were like, he's going to get to the bottom of. This is one of those.
And I think his answer. And I think they're going to go, well, he got to the bottom of it and nothing was there. That's I feel like. I mean, I can't see them turn because I don't know. I just can't see them turning on him. I don't know what the final straw will be, but every time he does something shady, his supporters in the media or in Washington, they all bend and twist themselves into a pretzel trying to excuse it away every time. And I want this to be different. Because this is obviously a huge thing, and it's important. And of course, the implications are insane. But I would love for there finally to be something where his supporters go, maybe he's full of shit now. Maybe we could see, maybe the stuff that we all saw in the past 8-9 years, maybe most of that was bullshit too.
Well, people got upset when he struck Iran. People were like, we didn't vote for you for war. He got a lot of backlash for that. He got a lot of it. Candace Owens was like, I didn't vote for this. Tucker Carlson seems to be a a schism between him and Tucker Carlson at that moment.
But I feel like give it a couple weeks and they'll be right back on. There's nothing, like, they'll be mad and they'll be upset with him. And then, they'll wag their finger at him, but then they'll go, well, he's our president.
Yeah. All right, let's start at the beginning, Frankie C. So here's the actual memo. I have the memo that the DOJ put out there. So let's share it direct with the people. It is a little long, but we're going to get through it quickly. Yeah. As part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive review of investigative holdings related to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure that the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of its databases, hard drives, the network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas, locked cabinets, desks. I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to laugh at, but when they go, we even check the locked cabinets. By the way, we don't let a locked cabinet stop us here.
Yeah, if it was, you'd think we'd search the unlocked ones and move on.
Right?
No, we went right into those locked ones too. You trust us. We looked at those.
Make sure you mention the locked cabinet so they know we're serious. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's put that in there.
Yeah, whatever was there, a locked. If it was locked, no lock is going to stop us. We're the Justice Department.
Because I've been stopped by a locked cabinet. I don't know about you. I got a cabinet here in the garage that I can't find the key to, and I haven't been in it in 4 years.
That's a good point. If I see a cabinet, if I know something I need is in a cabinet that's locked, I'll get a new one. I don't know where the key is.
Yeah,
it's there. It's the cabinets thing now.
Anyway, they conducted a search of the locked cabinets, desks, closets, and other areas where responsive material may have been stored. These searches uncovered a significant amount of material, including more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. The files related to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and over 10,000 downloaded videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and other pornography. Teams of agents, analysts, attorneys, and privacy and civil liberties experts combed through the digital and documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting victims. Much of the material is subject to court-ordered sealing. Only a fraction of this material would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial, as the seal served only to protect victims and not to expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Through this view, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list, in quotes. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Consistent with prior disclosures, this review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined throughout the materials. This includes specific details such as victim names and likenesses, physical descriptions, places of birth, associations, and employment history. One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. To that end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. After a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in New York City on August 10th, 2019. This conclusion is consistent with previous findings, including the August 19th, 2019 autopsy, findings of the New York City Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, the November 2019 position of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York in connection with the investigation of federal correctional officers responsible for guarding Epstein, and the June 2023 conclusions of DOJ's Office of the Inspector General. The conclusion that Epstein died by suicide is further supported by video footage from the common area of the special housing unit where Epstein was housed at the time of his death. As DOJ's Inspector General explained in 2023, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the SHU common area would have been captured by this footage. The FBI's independent review of this footage confirmed that from the time Epstein was locked in his cell at around 10:40 p.m. on August 9th, 2019, until around 6:30 a.m. the next morning, nobody entered any of the tiers of the SHU. During this review, the FBI enhanced the relevant footage by increasing its contrast, balancing the color, improving its sharpness for greater clarity and viewability. The full raw enhanced videos are available at the following links. I'll share that with you guys in a moment. That was it. Couple of weird things about the memo itself, not signed by anybody. You would think that if the DOJ and the FBI were releasing a joint statement, the heads of those departments would be in the closing of the memo.
How does it end? It just ends there and there's nothing below it?
That's it. Just ends there. Nothing else. That's it.
That is weird.
That's it. There's nothing else to it. The video footage, by the way, there is some suspect moments in that video footage. It is a 10-hour file. It is a little hard to scrub through. But by all accounts, it is very unsatisfying, except for one little tidbit that nobody really seems to be addressing too much, which we'll share with you. Hint, hint, there's an entire minute missing from the footage. And of course, we have all the background for Pam Bondi and all the stuff that has, gone on over the time. Let's share some of that with everybody here. Pam Bondi, who, claimed multiple times that they had the footage from the Epstein files, or I should say the client list, going back to her interview on Fox News. We'll bring this up for everybody here, Frankie C. This is from Robbie Starbuck on Twitter, sharing this clip from Fox News. Here, take a listen. She's asked flat out, where's the Epstein client list? She responds with, it's on my desk.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because.
Okay. Everything is being reviewed. Everything is going to be coming out soon. Everything is coming up roses.
It's sitting on my desk as we speak.
Ready for review. Let's go to Pam Bondi at another moment where she details the information that is on the videos in conjunction with the Epstein files here.
No.
Can't hear.
The sounds up.
There you go.
No, the FBI. Yeah, the FBI, they're reviewing. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume. And that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that.
Yeah. So she said the FBI is going through that, which they do say in their little thing. Here's the White House press conference from earlier today with Caroline Leavitt. Take a look at how she handles the questioning from Peter Doocy from, again, the White House press briefing room from just earlier today, which I'm surprised there's not a ton more on this.
Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in the United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 Violent criminals, that's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this attorney general and the FBI director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. That they promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Exactly what Frankie C just said. The deflection of all time. Let me deflect you into this. I'll give you a stat about something else that's going on and that we're doing to try and distract you from it. And then if you have any more questions, don't ask me. Go ask the FBI and the Department of Justice. That is classic deflection.
Exactly. I mean, why? It's mind-boggling. I mean, even Fox News is like, this is bullshit. You know, what the fuck? What are we even doing? For months. I mean, why would they keep saying no client list, and then all of a sudden there's no client list?
All of a sudden there's no client list, and then the like, I don't know how that entire press conference was not entirely about this one issue. You know,
right?
I mean, I don't understand how or why. That's why I'm saying it is literally going to be up to people. The people.
Well, what is that going to do? How, you know, what do you mean?
Have to keep hammering this administration for more answers and more, you know, more answers to these questions. I mean, this is,
how are the people going to ask questions to the administration? It's the press that has the microphone in front of the.
Correct. No, you're correct. But it's if the people don't let this die out, if they keep it up on Twitter, if they keep it going on social media, again, we're not the only ones talking about this. Share this video. Share other people's videos. Keep it going. Tweet at Peter Doocy. Tweet at CNN. Like, do all those things to keep the pressure on, because there's a lot of holes in this. So let's start with the holes. Yeah. She says they have this stuff. She says there's a client list. They're telling us there's thousands of hours of footage. Are we to believe that nobody else was involved in this? We have a sex trafficker who trafficked young people to no one.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, if you're looking for, I could almost buy that there isn't a physical sheet of paper.
Right. Where it's all right. Correct.
But there are people that he was in contact with that were taking part in everything that was going on.
Right.
That's the list that we're looking for. That's the
list.
Who else is involved here? And to say that there's no, I mean, I don't get. Maybe he didn't write it all down. Oh, this person's name here, this person's name. But I'm sure. Well, I can't believe someone wouldn't do like. How did he not have?
No, listen, to your point, I'm sure there wasn't a Word document on his laptop that said Epstein list and had all the people. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't think that was there. I agree with you, but those people are on camera. There's no way you're going to tell me they're not. Those people were in his little black book. I mean, we've seen some of that. We've seen flight logs, right? Okay. We could have confirmed a little bit. We could have taken some people off of those lists. They could have cleaned up those lists and given them to everybody the right, proper way. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That was never done. You have a million instances. Jay Staley, we just did the story the other day that he was denied his ability to go back and trade with Barclays. We have messages back and forth with them talking about, are you taking Snow White? Are you taking Beauty and the Beast? Like, there was code names for these young girls. Okay. That was in there, that he's not implicated whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be transactions or communications between him and the people that he was doing this crazy shit with.
Yes.
That's the list of people that we're looking for. And that has to exist, because how else is he communicating with these people if not through online, through text, through phone calls, through whatever means? You know, how he's not showing up in person every time. You know, saying, you know, there's got to be some kind of trail leading to all these different people.
Yes,
that were involved in this stuff. That's the job. Their job, it was to put together, here's all the people, and here you go.
And
That's
it has to exist. Again, I bring up Jay Staley, right? I mean, we know that Bill Gates's marriage ended because of this. We know it was him being at that mansion multiple times that was the last straw for Melinda Gates. We know it. We know he traveled with Bill Clinton and several other people. We know Naomi Campbell was involved and was there at several different points amongst Epstein's life. We know that Epstein had no money, and then after interactions with the guy, the Victoria's Secret guy, suddenly he's got all this money. He's got all this money. Like everything. This is not one of those crazy conspiracy theories that was born out of nothing and QAnon and just made up stuff. No, everything is there. Everything is there from Ghislaine's father to Israel ties to presidents of the United States to the royal family. It's all right there.
So that what they're saying, what the Department of Justice is saying, that all those things that we've been following all seem to be on the same path, and they all lead to a big empty room.
Big empty room.
Like, what are you talking about? You're out of your mind if you think we're buying that. Nobody. I feel like, how could anybody who heard all this today look at this and go, it sounds right?
Yeah. Okay.
With all the stuff, literal years of all this stuff going on. Yeah, I could buy that there's nothing.
Yeah.
What?
It's unbelievable.
How is that even possible? I feel like it's impossible for that not to, with all the stuff we know that went on.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. It's impossible.
It's impossible because we know that there were, I don't know how many people, but there were people. It wasn't just him. It wasn't just Jeffrey Epstein by himself with all these underage people. It was clientele, all this, whoever he was with all these, it wasn't just him. That's the point of this whole thing. It wasn't just him. So that's the list. Like, who else was involved? And you're telling me after all these, the investigations of locked things and all this stuff and thousands of hours of tape, nobody else is implicated? Nobody. Zero.
Nobody. What's the thing in Star Wars where don't they they lower their finger and go, there is no, is that Star Trek?
It's for Star Wars. It's the Jedi mind trick. You don't need to see my identification.
Where's the Epstein list? There is no Epstein list.
There's no Epstein list. I don't know what you're talking about. You're out of your mind.
Wait,
Yeah.
Who did he traffic people to if he was convicted of trafficking? There's no such thing as
who was it? I think it was in our Discord. I think it was Bird who said, so Virginia Giuffre is in jail for trafficking nobody to nobody.
Exactly.
Well, trafficking all these girls to nobody.
It's an innocent woman behind bars that we have to get her out, Frank. How could this injustice stand?
The absolute gall, the injustice of it all. She was trafficking young girls to literally no one, apparently.
It's amazing. It's
amazing. It's unreal.
I'll tell you the biggest tragedy out of all of this. This poor man, this poor, lonely, single financier took his own life, even though he wasn't guilty of anything. I don't know if we'll have a bigger tragedy than that.
I mean, apparently nothing. There was no wrong. I don't understand. This whole ring, whatever, sex ring, trafficking ring. It wasn't a ring. It looked like it was just a pendant.
It was a pendant.
It was a dot. It didn't go around. It wasn't a ring full of people. It was one dot.
Was it a big sex trafficking ring? Technically, it wasn't a ring. It was more pendant, I would say.
Yeah. Like this big, no, like this big, no, this big. Unreal.
But it's true. He took his own life for no reason. He was innocent the whole time. He didn't do anything. He was totally innocent.
No, obviously they're saying there was all these hours and hours of footage, but he was, I'm sure, in some of it.
Yeah.
And who else? It's obviously nobody wants to see the footage, and obviously they're right into not releasing victims' names and whatever. But we're not talking about the victims. We're talking about the people who were clients and people associated with Epstein. That's we want. That's who we're looking for here.
That's all anybody has been looking for, and they're basically sitting there and telling us, well, no dice, kids. You're not getting it. Like, no matter how hard you try or how much you complain, and no matter how bad we know this is. And by the way, all of the interviews and the stuff that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have been doing, it was all to soften the ground for this. Their whole thing of like, we didn't see anything and we reviewed the footage and it's not there. And I know you want it to be there and blah, blah, blah.
I could the only the believable thing, like me, because it's possible that he'd killed himself.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but I hear I agree with your point.
I don't know either. I don't know
remotely possible.
I don't know the answer either for that one, but it's not impossible. Not being a list of people involved is impossible, I feel.
Right.
But the Epstein offing himself is somewhat believable. Am I wrong there?
No, it is.
I could almost buy it. I could buy it.
I could. Like I said before, I'm on the record as saying this. I in my heart of hearts do not believe he did it. I looked at the thing. It's almost impossible to hang yourself in something that you could just stand up in. But like we talked about previously on this podcast, people do take their own lives in prison. They do hang themselves in short places. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know
how they do it with bed sheets, but it does happen. So you gotta yield to, okay, if we're gonna bend on anything, I can bend on that with you.
The only thing. I mean,
but it's like you said, you cannot have a convicted sex trafficker not traffic people to anybody. Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail for assisting him in that, and that it didn't go to anybody. And then they're like, oh, innocent third party. Like, guy, come on. I mean, Prince Andrew, Staley, Jean-Luc Brunel, Bill Gates, Clinton. You go up and down the list of people. Requires no further investigation. They're not going to release anything else. They're not going to look into anything else. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, it's the most, I don't even know. I mean, we weren't alive during Kennedy. I don't know how soon after that is. I think there was just a lot of sadness before any sort of skepticism started popping up on to who was responsible. I don't think that really came up until years later. But when you think about this too, this is 2019. We're 6 years away. People have still not let this go, and they're still blocking it at every step.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I buy the fact, that they're saying that he deleted himself. I'm trying to keep it. So we're not okay. I'm not saying that I'm buying it. I'm saying it's a little more believable than them not having a list. I still don't believe it. I still feel like there's foul. I still feel there's foul play going on in his death.
You're saying it's the only relatively believable part of all.
It's more believable than what they've given us today.
Mm-hmm.
Only because he had, I guess, every reason to, but it's, again, a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit around it that's like points to him not deleting himself. But who the hell knows?
Well, exactly. We're never going to know. It just feels
that's one of those things that they'll cover up till doomsday. But I feel like the client list is something that we all everybody's like that exists. There are people that if you're trafficking people to people, you know who you're trafficking to, and that's not a secret. You would have some way of that interaction being cataloged somehow. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not buying any of this. It's insane.
It's impossible to. I mean, it's flat out impossible to. Let's go and bring up the footage from the prison, because I got a lot of problems with this one too. I mean, they're just like.
I mean, you looked through 10 hours of it?
I watched all 10 hours of it today. I had a lot of time to kill, Frank. It's a lot of time. I missed Price is Right today because of this. I hope everybody appreciates the sacrifice.
That accounts for 1 hour.
Yeah. That's the best
Did
hour
you
of
watch
my
it
day.
Did you watch it at like quadruple speed?
Yeah.
Or real time?
So they gave us 10 hours of footage, and this is for what you can see. There's prison cells and everything, and there's like stuff going on in the background. Like you can see this is like a second floor perch, and there's like a first floor kind of like off in the distance. You can see a staircase. Looks like a bunch of other stuff. By the way, I think I'm playing for you the enhanced version, which is supposed to have like some more clarity to it. But
I can't imagine the unenhanced version, and what the hell are they working with?
But this is it, my friend. It's 10 hours of this. Like,
and what's to say any of this isn't just a still frame?
Doesn't it look like, well, you'll see people.
I mean, they mastered that technology and Speed.
I was just going to say, it looks like the footage from Speed. It looks like the Speed footage. Just loop it.
Yeah, loop. Run it.
Yeah. It looks exactly like that. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, are we going to see him enter the closest door? Like right there? No. The part that you see him, he's down on the first floor behind that like railing banister wood thing, and they're literally just like walking him across. His face is blocked by the wood portion, so we're just taking their word for it that's him, and that's him moving at that time. I thought I queued it up to the exact. I thought I was 10:40
so
p.m.
Someone walked by, but so my other question
see somebody in the desk all the way at the back there. You see that little movement? There's somebody back there in that desk area moving.
So this camera is, if I'm looking at this correctly, we're at the top. We're on a second level, and on the other side of that wood railing is the first level, looking down onto the first level, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So now, why can't now in the memo they said that nobody could have gotten past this camera, right?
Correct.
Now, below, I want to say that garbage pail.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't someone walk along that wall?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath that banister is a whole, I don't know how tall, 8 feet of a first floor. It's 10 feet. I don't know how tall these floors are, but why? I mean, this seems like a very small window of space on the first floor. I feel like there's a lot of first floor we're not seeing.
Yes, all excellent points, right on the old schnozzerooski, as they say, right on the nose, my friend.
Now, is this the only angle we get in this? This is the only footage they released from this angle.
Come on, it's a prison. Of course, they release all the other angles. No,
this is it.
This is it.
This is it. This is all we get.
This is a correctional facility in New York City, and there's one camera.
One camera, which is looking at what? Like, I want to see the person who decided to put the camera in this spot to look at two doors and half of the first floor.
Mm-hmm. You go into any bodega in a 5-block radius of this place, and there's at least 6 cameras on you at all times. At a bodega, at a small, family-owned, local. Do you know what the margins are at a bodega? You're not making a ton of money on a $2 bag of chips, okay? And they have advanced security footage of their entire. There's not a square inch of a bodega that is not on camera.
And I don't know. I guess maybe I'm all right. Now I'm thinking of, like, officers in correctional facilities don't wear body cams, right?
Correct.
Okay, just wondering.
Maybe some of them do. I don't believe all of them do, though.
Okay. But yeah, this is the only camera. It's working. It's on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
It sees almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was just looking at this for the first time without any explanation, I wouldn't know what the hell we're looking at.
Yeah.
I see 2 doors and a railing and a garbage pail. I can't tell that that's a first floor in the distance. It looks like just another floor on the other side of a railing.
Yeah.
Not another level, just another piece of floor.
Right. So we'll come back to that because I thought I had queued it up to the right part. It looks like I missed it, but I'll go. The Daily Mail gave us basically a version of it that I can pop up for you guys so you can see them all. Because I don't want you to miss the moment. The huge chunk of evidence, Frankie C, where
they
Jeffrey,
walk into a cell.
Exactly. Like, how can we miss that moment? We can't do it. It's key. It's needed. We got to have it. Let me pop it up on the screen for you so you guys can see it. And then we'll come back to this full footage because there is an important part of this whole thing that I do want to show you. So here's the Daily Mail. They put out a clip earlier today. We thank them for their hard work going through the 10 hours of footage. As I said, there was the railing. It's in the circle. There he is. And there he goes.
Shady there. That all seems on the up and up.
Yep.
Wait, could you go back to the beginning of that?
Yep. See, he's walking on that first floor there.
Is it me or is the garbage pail gone?
Where the hell did that garbage pail go?
I think that garbage pail is a secret person hiding in there, and he got up and walked away.
Holy shit, did you just break some news here? Let's see.
The garbage pail's missing. Right in the middle of the screen.
Oh, wait, where is it? Wait, okay, so this is 7:40 p.m. No, this is 7:40 p.m. Where I had you, there's the garbage. So somebody brought the garbage pail at some point.
Well, we got to see who did that, because that's who's messing with the garbage pails. And how heavy was that garbage pail?
There's a garbage pail down there too.
See, there's a person right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's janitors in these places, but
yeah, that's not him though. I don't know what I have in my notes here 1040, but we were just on 1040 and it wasn't there.
And why is there even a garbage pail there? I mean, is that a highly trafficked area where people throw out garbage?
I don't know. But let me bring down the title here to point out this other big moment. Let me take this off the screen here because keep an eye on the date and the time here below. And this is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, right? There's
Robin, why aren't they recycling?
Why aren't they recycling? There's 12 hours in a day, correct?
No. It's 24.
I'm sorry, 24 hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
There's 60 minutes in a
hour.
60
I'm
seconds
with you.
in a minute. Okay, take a look at the time. It's 11:58 and 42 seconds. They're going to give us the unabridged version. This is not cut or edited by us. This is exactly how the DOJ released this footage to us. Watch it go from 11:58 straight to midnight. Watch right here. Okay. There's an entire minute from this video missing.
That's weird. Did anybody point that out? Are you the first?
I'm not sure if a lot of other people have that, but again,
anybody could have walked by in that minute.
I mean, it's a minute. They literally said we'll put the whole thing out so you can see it. Which, first of all, I wouldn't even count this as seeing anything. But if that is going to happen, you can't do it with an entire minute missing from the footage.
The only thing I could say is devil's advocate. Maybe the switch to midnight, there's some kind of weird, jump. I don't know. Like when it actually switches over to midnight, but that is weird. Why would I've never heard of any other system doing that.
Right. And you very well might be right. But if that's the case, don't sit there on Joe Rogan, Fox News, and wherever else you are and go, I've seen the footage. There was no way for anybody to get there. No. Then say, I've seen everything but a minute of the footage.
Yeah.
Because
now, do we know that that's the only minute?
That's the only minute that I noticed. And again, this is, I shit you guys not. I mean, can you see it there? Look, it's 10 hours and 52 minutes right there. See?
Who's that? See?
Yeah.
Do we know who that is? So that what they're saying is anybody who walked past
that's
here.
just John. Don't worry about John.
Oh, all right. So what they're saying is anybody that walked into this screen on the bottom floor, on this floor, they've accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nothing to see here. Don't worry about that missing minute. It's fine.
And I love how after, I don't know, it's just so.
When I first got this, I skipped to this part. And I'm like, this is it. This guy's going to come out of there screaming. No, this is just nothing. It's nothing.
So do we know time? Do we know the time of death?
I think they found, you're asking great questions. I believe they found him at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right. No, I know they found him at that time, but do they know when he expired?
No.
I feel like that's something they probably should know.
Yeah, I mean, they might have. I'd have to go back to the episode where we did his coroner review, where they probably gave it time. We probably gave it time in there.
Yeah,
but even still, it would be probably a 2 to 3 hour window.
Probably a what? I'm sorry.
Like a 2 to 3 hour window. I don't know if they can nail that.
Sure. No, I get
minute.
that makes sense. But instead of 10 hours, you could look at 2 or 3 hours and say what happened in this 2 or 3 hour window.
Right.
I don't know. I just this is if this is the only working camera in this fucking prison.
The only one.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
It shows nothing. It shows nothing.
I don't even know if those are cells. What are those things?
Yeah. And the other thing too is if you really believed in again, I'm gonna punch something, Frank. If you really believed in this, you would sign your name to the memo that was released. If you really believed in this, you would release your own video and you would say, hey, everybody, this is what's happening here. Here's the first floor. Here's the second floor. You could see him walk by here. Then watch the rest of this because it's, 6 hours, 6.5 hours of uninterrupted footage showing that nobody else can go in or out. By the way, there's no other. I know we're only seeing this, but there's no other way to get in. There's no other way to get out. There's not like you can go under the stairs. It's not like you can do this or that or whatever. And blah, blah, blah. Explain it. Because I bet you nobody will put their face. I am curious to see if Dan Bongino and Kash Patel do an interview in the next 3 days. I would be surprised to see them put their face in front of a camera and stand by this load of crap that they just sprung on the American people. I will be surprised.
There is so much wrong with this video. It's not even funny. The fact that they think nobody can go left to right on that first floor and stand close to the wall that's underneath that garbage pail. That's insane.
Absurd.
I mean, if someone's going to walk by and do something like that, they're not just going to stroll in the middle of the fucking, the hallway there. They're probably going to do it a little sneakily. Probably, it's not going to be right in the open.
Right. It's fucking crazy.
Because from what we saw before, the cell, Epstein's cell, is to the right. It looks like on that first floor. Am I wrong? They brought him left to right.
They brought him left to right. Correct.
Okay, so his cell is to the right, and there's all that. I mean, obviously you could see the back two walls where it meets, but you can't see the two walls underneath the banister.
No.
So who the hell knows? The guy could have did one of these and just went right up against that wall, knowing that camera was working.
Yes.
I mean, what does it take to learn which cameras are working and which cameras aren't? I'm sure they probably know how to do that. What is this guy doing?
He's just grabbing his jacket.
So that's obviously not a cell. So what are we looking at here? I mean, that looks like just another room or a hallway or something.
Yeah, that guy. By the way, see in his bag, Frankie. See, he's got a salad that he didn't pay for.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let me conveniently move the garbage pail a little bit to where it's just to the right as I walk by, just to make sure nobody can see it. I mean, they were better off not doing this. Keep jerking us around. We're still reviewing would have been better than this lump of crap that they just laid on the American people.
Yeah, no, this is a load of garbage. I can't believe that they would show this to everybody and think, oh, everybody's going to be happy with this. This explains it all.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
I see no backlash from this.
Another thing with this too is I've said this all the time that whenever you want to bury something, you put it out on Friday. You release information on Friday that you want to bury because everybody's just heading into the weekend and we all just don't care.
Right.
Little dangerous to do that on a holiday weekend because you drop a big bombshell like this and then that's all anybody can talk about when they're amongst family and friends and gatherings. So it could actually grow in size. You don't want to do that. Right. Second worst time to drop some news is Saturday night because everybody's out having a good time, trying to do whatever. And then the third worst time you can put something out is literally on a Sunday. And that's exactly when they released this memo. They chose to put it out on a Sunday evening. I
think the theory there might be that something big and controversial might happen this week. In other words, they'll put this thing out now, and then in the next few days, when something big happens, everybody will forget about this.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's their strategy.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna put this out there. Watch out, Iran. Okay, Iran. You name it. Anybody we got a little bit of a remote problem with?
Where'd you run to?
Just be careful because you got a good chance of getting bombed because we got to move headlines around. We got to make some shit happen in the next week.
Where'd you ran to?
No, I mean, I ran the country. Sorry, I should have clarified. Yeah. Iraq. Has Iraq given us a problem since we took over Saddam? I would still say be careful because it feels like whenever we need, we just go in there. Iraq is like the JFK to Goodfellas. It's just whenever we need something, we just go into the airport and steal it. That's basically what the Middle East is going to become to this country if we have to keep distracting our people from Epstein headlines.
I'm telling you this every time. It's something different every week, and we forgot about. I'm sure there was shit 3 weeks ago that we talked about that was a huge deal at the time that we've forgotten about at this point.
Yeah, no, you're right. But again, there's something about the Epstein thing. Again, I compare it to there's no surprise that they've lumped in the Kennedy and the Epstein and the Martin Luther King to a degree, right? They always ask for those things to be unclassified and declassified and released. There's no surprise because there's those things we just can't seem to get over. The Kennedy thing was 60 something years ago almost, right? When was it? 62, 63 he got assassinated?
Yeah, 60 something years ago. Yeah, 63 years ago.
So it's like we're still not over that, you know.
Right.
So I think this is going to be the same thing. I just think this is never going to go away, and it's always going to be one of those points of distrust. And you know, again, I feel that this is a massive blunder for this current administration. The black eye on this from the beginning was Clinton. Clinton was super
What black eye?
involved. No, the black eye. The black eye. Clinton was super involved, and he was the bad guy, and that was it. Trump was able to escape most of this. That video of him, the picture with him and Melania and Epstein, all that stuff. He was able to skirt all of that stuff.
Don't know how. He's in a ton of video and pictures.
And now it's like you let your Department of Justice and FBI put this out, and you're gonna I can't wait till they get Trump in front of a microphone, because listen, you can say whatever you want about him, and I know you have a lot to say about him, but he's a no bullshit kind of guy when it comes to certain things. Like, again, the other day when he lost his head and he goes talking about Israel and Iran, and he goes, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, he can get just kind of on an average person's level with things, you know. I'm not saying he's not a liar, but
that doesn't mean it's not. You just said he's no bullshit. That doesn't mean that when he says, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, that's not straight shooting. That's still bullshit. It's just he cursed in it.
I
That's
just don't.
nothing,
I think what I'm trying. It's going to be hard to make this point with you, but I think
what I'm trying. I know what you mean.
Like he knows this is bullshit. I don't know.
I can tell you what he's going to say. It's right out of his playbook. Well, I trust the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi. They know what they're talking about. Kash Patel, they're good people. They went through everything. They found nothing wrong. It's just gonna be like everything else he was accused of. I did nothing wrong. It was a perfect phone call. It was this. It was that.
I don't think he's going to say that. I don't think he's going to say that.
He's going to pivot, and he's going to go, look, we got other big things to worry about. This is in the past. It's over. They looked. There's nothing there, and that's it. That's what it's going to be.
I knew.
What's the other option?
I knew using the term straight shooter was going to come back to haunt me, because I'm getting killed in the comments.
Why would you think he's a straight shooter?
A straight shooter is maybe the wrong word, but I'm saying he's
definitely the wrong word.
He could be a no bullshit kind of a guy at times. Like, there are certain politicians that you expect politician talk from all the time. He's not one of those guys. He certainly can play the game. He can certainly lie to people. I'm not saying he's a saint.
Just because it's not as smart sounding doesn't mean it's not still political bullshit.
What I'm saying is, I don't see him sticking his neck out to stand behind Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino on this one.
If it clears him, then he will. If it came out that, oh yeah, you know, there are some people in this, and Trump's name shows up, he would say, no, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are full of shit.
That made me laugh. Mercury says, don't worry, Ant will apologize in a year or two, Frank.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
I get there late, but I still got there. It's
his response is, you could set your watch by, if it sees him in a good light, then everything was perfect and nothing went wrong. If it shows him in a bad light, then they don't know what they're doing and they're full of shit. That's the playbook.
I just think, I mean, maybe he'll say, you'll have to ask them. They're the ones who reviewed it. Maybe he'll say that, and he'll give his, we'll look into it speech. But I don't see him standing behind those three with this one. I just think he knows it's a lose-lose situation. Well,
stand behind him or not, he's going to, it's a positive outcome for him. So he's going to say something like, oh, you know, they did the work, the investigative work, and it's over. Or he's going to say it has nothing to do with me. He's going to try to separate himself as much as possible from it. It's the Department of Justice. It's not my area. I don't know what he's talking about. Or, you know, he's not going to, what do you want? It's either that, or say, well, I'm going to ask him to look into it further, which he's not going to do.
You think he did bad things in this with him? I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't think so.
Who knows? Well, we don't. That's the problem. I mean, he was very close friends with, you see him partying with him in these videos and pictures, and they're all hanging out together. And he talks about him in a positive light. He even said in an interview, "Oh, that Jeffrey Epstein's a good guy. He likes women too. He likes them a bit young." And that was a literal interview he gave about Jeffrey Epstein. I mean,
I feel like he knew about him. I just don't know
if he.
I don't think
we don't know. How do we know anybody did unless it's unless there's evidence? I mean,
I just don't think he did. I don't know. I'm not saying he didn't do shitty things.
I'm not saying he did, and I'm not saying he didn't. But I don't. The question.
You're wishing he did, though,
we don't know,
aren't you? You're wishing he
did.
You're wishing he did.
I don't want anybody to do that. No.
Well,
I don't want any of that to have happened. No, I don't want any of that to have happened. I'm not wishing anybody does that at all, ever. So I don't want him to have done that. But if he did, then it should be. He should face the consequences, is my point. I don't want that to have happened to anybody ever. So, but my point is, if it happened and he's involved, everybody, that's something that should be brought to light, and that's something that he should face consequences for. That's my only point.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he maybe saw some stuff or was complacent, like a lot. I think that's more likely than not that he was complacent. Like he said, he goes, "Oh, he likes him young." He kind of knew, but didn't really say anything, and that's not a good look for people.
Maybe
either.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't know. That's the point. We don't know.
But I mean, who can you trust? Like, there's literally no one to trust any longer. I mean, look at Diddy's going to go free. They're letting this guy off the hook. I mean, it's literally like, if you got the money, just go out there and do whatever the fuck you want, because there'll be people to protect you.
And if you're in charge, the people in power want to stay in power, and they'll do whatever they can. It's not always on the up and up. That's, I don't know how else to put it, but that's the reality we're in right now. I feel like that's just reality altogether.
I just feel like the next president who comes into this White House, they're going to get asked the same. There's not going to be a week that goes by that they're not going to be like, "Hey, you're going to reopen that Epstein thing?" Just to kind of see.
I hope so.
Because
I hope so. That would be. Hey, you got to look at. I mean, that would be great. You're going to open that. I hope it's someone that would, have a what's it called? No skin in the game. You know what I mean? Just be like, yeah, we're going to look at it.
That's what you need. You need somebody who has no skin in the game, who just doesn't care. Because it's like, again, royal family, Clintons, Trumps, celebrities, finance people. They're protecting all of these people who all had again, footage from his New York City mansion, from his Miami estate, from the island. That you went through all of that and didn't come across anybody? I guarantee
Jeffrey Epstein's not the only one in those videos. How could that be?
Can't be. Cannot be. And what are they? So they're afraid of somebody was there at his island, and they can't prove anything that happened behind closed doors, so they don't want to implicate that person. Like, that's what they're afraid of. I mean, come on, man. Like, you cannot let this go for that kind of a thing. I feel like it's innocent until proven guilty, but in this particular case, you got to be like, hey, if you were on that island, you got to explain yourself. Chris Tucker was on that trip with Clinton, and it's like, you got to explain yourself. Naomi Campbell's on a couple of flights. Like, you got to explain yourself. Staley, all these finance guys, Black, all these guys, all these huge fund guys. The guy who brought his fucking family to the island during a vacation,
even if it's just here's the people that went to the island, line them up and say, all right, why were you there? What happened? Just get the answers from them. If it's whatever the answers are, but at least have something on record saying,
but listen, blur the victims. I get it. Protect the victims.
100%. No victim should be victimized anymore. I get it.
the child stuff is horrible. But I mean, we
100%.
lived through 9/11. We all watched people leap to their deaths. You know what I'm saying? We've seen some pretty horrific things. How about all those people that were beheaded? Remember the journalist who was beheaded in the Middle East back during the Iraq War and all that? All this horrible stuff that we have seen. This we can't handle.
I wouldn't want them to. I wouldn't want them to release.
Listen, I don't need to see the whole thing. I don't need to see the act and whatever. But I want to see, again, because it wasn't like there's just cameras in the bedrooms. There's cameras at the front door. There's cameras in the, there's cameras at the pool. There's cameras everywhere. Blur out what you need to blur out and show the other people that were there. That's it. We can handle that. Again, I don't know if I need to be in the massage room once the door is closed, but I'll take your word for it. No, that would be horrible to see. I mean, I'll take your word for that bad things happen, but I want to see what happens before that door closes, because he's not the only guy. There's no way he was the only fucking person the whole time.
Because the whole thing is trafficking. Maxwell is in jail for trafficking women or children, actually, and so was Epstein. But they had to traffic them to someone.
Yes.
Who are those someones?
And we saw, I forget who the comedian was, but he told a story about, was it Louis Black, maybe? I forget who it was. Somebody told a story about getting invited to his house, and they went. They went in New York. It was 3 comics. The one comedian got invited. They invited 2 other comics, and he was like, it was just a lot of rich people. It was like weird. It was, we ate, we left. That was it. Like they kept partying, and it was just our time to go. We went. Not that we didn't really see anything, but there was definitely he was like, I wasn't surprised when I heard about everything. It's like it was there. It existed. Like it happened.
Yeah.
Who are we protecting?
Exactly. And more than just him. That's the point. More than just him was involved.
And again, if I'm Trump, here's the thing, Frank. I have pride in telling everybody to release these Epstein tapes because I ain't on it. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't do it, release away,
100%.
If he didn't have any whatever, put it out. Tell him, hey, this is unfortunate, but you got to put it out. You got to blur those victims, cut out what you want. But again, right up until we get up to, I mean, it's like when you put a movie on.
Even if they want to
TV.
Yeah, but even if they want, we don't need. I don't. You don't have to release the videos. Just tell us who's in the videos, or slow a still. Here's who's in the video, and this is what we saw them. This is what they did.
Yeah. Suddenly, we're protecting all these people, these third parties that might get dragged into this.
You don't have to protect that kind of person.
No, absolutely not. 100% not. The whole thing is fucking disgusting.
It is.
All right. Well, we did an hour on it, so I think we just
about we covered it.
Again, I can't wait to see where I just eyes are on Cash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi. Like I'm waiting for their and you know what pisses me off too? Call a fucking press conference. Again, if you are so sure, you'd put your name on the memo, you'd make a video explaining the video, and you'd call a press conference where you could be as open as you can possibly be and answer everybody's questions. I don't know if we're going to see a press conference with these 3 people.
Yeah. I'd love to hear reporters asking Pam Bondi, you said you had the list, and now all of a sudden there's no list?
Right.
What was that? Doesn't make any sense. All right, Tucker Carlson. What is this idiot doing?
Tucker Carlson, and I don't know if he released it yet, but I caught him. I caught a clip of him, and I not that I had a lot of faith in Tucker Carlson to begin with, but this fucking guy is so. People lose themselves so much in their own little worlds and missions that he went out and did an interview with the leader of Iran, and then pitched it to people. I'm going to play you the clip because I there's no other way to get around this.
You have to look at his stupid face now.
We're gonna have to look at. Yeah, we gotta look at his stupid fucking face. I apologize. Let me go back to look. See, still
Leave
it's
that
been
on.
playing. It's been playing the whole time, and still nothing has happened. Still nothing is. It's the fucking. It is the fucking speed video. It's just looped.
Yeah, there's a lady with her bag right in the corner. Just it drops and comes back up.
We're all not Dustin Hoffman. Who's the fucking?
We just finished up an interview with
Who's the guy? Who's the enemy and not Dustin Hoffman?
70-year-old heart surgeon who
I don't know.
leads the
Shut him up.
country. We were just at war with
the enemy. Can you hear that?
We know we'll be criticized for doing this interview. Why did we do it anyway?
Oh, sorry, I can't hear anything.
Oh,
sorry.
That was brutal. It was what's his name? Oh, what the hell is his name now?
The live chat's gonna beat us to it. We're old and stupid.
Oh God.
Who's the villain in Speed? Oh, look at all. This is a bunch of dumb people on the show. We're so.
Why can't I get his name? Not Anthony Hopkins.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Who
the
is
villain in Speed?
The villain in Speed.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah. Thank you.
42 is rough.
Did I beat everybody? Did someone get it before me?
You did beat the live chat. I'm stunned.
No.
All right. Excellent. Dennis Hopper was the bad guy in Speed.
You're saying no, Janine? No, it was Dennis Hopper.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at him and I'm thinking of someone else's name. How about that?
No, Dennis Hopper's. Way to go, Jack. Way to go.
All right, here's stupid Tucker Carlson. Sorry that misfired a second ago. Here's Tucker Carlson.
Here's my impression of Tucker Carlson.
That's pretty good. I like it. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
All right, here he is telling us about his latest interview. This guy makes me want to fucking. I hate this fucking guy.
He's such an asshole.
Masoud Pezeshkian, who is the president of Iran, the 70-year-old heart surgeon who leads the country we were just at war with about a week and a half ago. We know for doing this interview. Why did we do it anyway? Well, we did it because we were just at war with Iran 10 days ago and maybe again. And so our view, which has remained consistent over time, is that American citizens have the constitutional right and the God-given right to all the information they can gather about matters that.
That's enough. I can appreciate his truth-seeking ways, but to say we were at war with Iran, that's not a war.
We did bomb the shit out of him.
That's still not a war. Like, I'm sorry. This whole idea of, well, we were at
and
war
they
with
bombed,
them.
And then they bombed us.
No, I disagree with that. But to say that
What they did.
But to say that we were at war with them just 10 days ago, like, is that a war? Because then you might as well count what the Real Housewives do to each other as a war. You know, I love when the Real Housewives go, they're attacking me. They're attacking me. Like, nobody's attacking. Like, we have to redefine the word attack. You know,
well, we did bomb a bunch of their nuclear sites, and then they bombed a bunch of our bases, and we're helping.
They didn't
Israel.
bomb a bunch of our. They fired one rocket at or 6 rockets at our base, none of which landed.
Okay, I don't know.
So that's not. I wouldn't. And that was the extent of this so-called war. Like, this isn't a war. There was a military exercise on behalf of the United States of America that strategically took out military locations of another country they felt was threatening the region.
Okay, what's your point here? What's going on?
The point is he's like, well, we were at war with them 10 days ago, so we have to do this interview. No, you are swinging for views and thinking, what's the most controversial thing I can do right now? I know I'll put the leader of Iran on my show and act like there's sympathy for him because what did he say? He's a surgeon or whatever the fuck. Like, are you fucking kidding me? By the way, this was the guy that helped fund the October 7th attack of Hamas on Israel. This was the guy who, over the years, has had attacks on American soldiers, right, in the Middle East, embassies, right? They have definitely done some things, shady shit against our country, which we've looked the other way on, just in an effort for continued peace, right? So to act like, well, let's let the Americans get the full part of the story. There is no full part of the story here. Either Netanyahu was lying or he wasn't. Doesn't make a difference. We made a call. We did it. It's over. And that's it. And that's not to say that there won't be further reaction or action from Iran. It's entirely possible. But to sit there and be like, well, we were just at war with them 10 days ago. No, we weren't. That's not a war. That's not a war. I'm sorry, but that is completely not a war. That the definition of war, and I know there's been some short wars out there, but there has to be an attack, counterattack, back and forth, ceasefire, negotiate. Like, there was none of that. That country has nothing, cannot fire back, cannot do anything. It was not a war. It was a strike against their nuclear capabilities. End of sentence. That's it. We bombed Khashoggi, whatever. We dropped a big ass bomb on him in the first Trump administration. Was that a war too? Is that a war? We bombed the Houthis. Is that a war? Or is that a targeted strike against people that are terrorizing a major passage in Europe? Like, these aren't wars. Don't sit there with your smug fucking face and tell me, well, we were at war. Like, let me justify to the people why I'm slugging for views.
I don't know why we're giving Tucker Carlson any time anyway.
I just hate his fucking
interview with Masoud Pezeshkian, who is the president of Iran, 70-year-old heart surgeon who leads the country we were just at war with about a week and a half ago. We know we'll be criticized for doing this interview. Why did we do it anyway? Well, we did it because we were just at war with Iran.
Like, do you? But again, this is classic journalism, slant, mainstream media, all the things that people complain about. Why does this keep playing when I don't even touch it? He's the 70-year-old heart surgeon who's the president of Iran.
Well,
stop presenting him as a sympathetic character. He's not.
Well, that's because it's Tucker Carlson. You can't. That's who Tucker Carlson is. He wants you to see everything. He's a propaganda machine, and that's all he does. He interviewed Putin, and it's the same deal. He's gonna kiss Putin's ass, and he's gonna make it seem like we're fucked up, and it's a. I don't give him any airtime. I can't stand Tucker Carlson. He's an asshole, and he doesn't. He's not looking. He doesn't report the truth. He's even on record as saying that he lies just to win arguments. I mean, that's not a journalist. What are you talking about? So, and his whole network was fined almost $1 billion for lying about the presidential election. So I take everything he says with a grain of bullshit.
The other day, he said that Fox News, that Fox fired him and then wanted him to run against Trump in the primary. That is what he told somebody the other day. I read that quote. He's like, yeah, they because the Fox people hate Trump so much. He's like, they wanted me to run against him. He's like, but I wouldn't. I like him. Meanwhile, this is the same guy who called him an asshole in private text messages. Like, you don't like this guy, and this
he's a bullshit. He's just another bullshit machine. That's all he is.
A huge bullshit machine. This war is giving you an excuse to show your true colors and your true hatred for Trump. Yeah. Basically, all this is with Tucker Carlson.
I don't know why anybody gives him any airtime. I can't.
Yeah. He's the worst. I hope nobody watches that stupid interview. Because again, this is not, it's weird. I could even see interviewing Putin. That guy's so fucking crazy. Like, you want to know what he's thinking. Like, how delusional are you? Like, what are you? And I'm not saying that, again, Netanyahu's got his issues. There's lots of things there. There's a lot of knots in that ball of knots over there in the Middle East. But this was in and out. Clean, done. It's over with. It was something that was done Did Netanyahu lie? Did he force our hand? Did he do this? Did he do that? Whatever it is, you got to make peace with it at the end of the day. We took out their sites. We weren't out to attack their people. We weren't out. That was between Israel and Iran. We didn't do anything else. It's done. It's over. It's not a war. And assholes like this is going to fucking drag it out for even longer. It's incredibly stupid. Speaking of incredibly stupid, Frankie C. You know, we may have dodged a bullet there with Kamala Harris. I mean, I know you hate the current administration, but we could have been in a lot worse shape with that Kamala character.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about our good pals over at Subway Takes. You know, we've played their clips before. This is the dude, I don't even know his name, but he sits on the subway with people. He's got lavalier mics on a Metro card, and he asks them for their hot take. And we've played a couple of hot takes and debated them on this show before. I always love that angle.
I will go on record and saying we would have been better off, way better off with Kamala in the White House. But go ahead.
Well, you haven't heard the story yet. Let's see how you feel at the end of this story.
Okay.
So, Subway Takes guy goes on another podcast and they were asked, I forget how we got to there, but basically he starts telling the story about how the DNC reached out to him and wanted to put Tim Walz and Kamala Harris on Subway Takes. And, you know, they arranged the whole thing and they even shot it. And before they shot it, he said, I would love to have her on. I'd love to have them both on. I'd love to be able to, you know, tell my daughter that I interviewed the vice president and potential president of the United States, like blah, blah, blah. I'm with him this whole entire way. Like I wouldn't have turned down any candidate, you know, on, you know. So, and then he goes, the guy on the podcast, and I'll find it. I'll credit you. The guy goes, what was her take? Did you find out her take? He goes, yeah. Her take was, and it's always an interesting, fun take. Like one guy's take, I think that you got upset at was he wants to reduce Pride Month to a week because the month is not special anymore. But like if you put it into a week, it'll be like a big celebration. It's something that we could do, you know, which I totally get, because you look at things like the footballs, like, all right, everybody's into the Super Bowl, but sometimes like the 5 weeks leading up to it in the playoffs is like, all right, already. Like, let's get to the point of it. So her take was bacon is a spice. That was Kamala Harris's take. That was her big hot take. Bacon is a spice.
Huh. I disagree. The only thing I can think of what she meant by that, I can't imagine, is you add it to a bunch of things to make it taste better. Is that what she meant? Does he explain it?
That's what we're all getting. No, he didn't explain it, but just the way he said, like, we didn't air it. Like I couldn't air it. Like they went and shot it. I don't think he got the answer before they shot. I think they shot it and he looked at it and said, I cannot put this out. Oh, he said, I can't put this out. He goes, I don't want to be responsible for her losing. So he looked at it and knew it was so bad that it could cost her the election. So
did he finally put it out?
No. It's not seen the light of day.
All right. So we don't even know. We have to see the clip. We don't know what exactly her reasoning is and what was said.
What could her reasoning be?
I think it's probably, I mean, I don't know. Because if you look at, I don't know, bacon, like, you know, bacon bits, is that a seasoning?
No.
Bacon bits that you sprinkle on something?
Not a seasoning. It's bacon bits.
Not a seasoning. It's bacon bits. Yeah. Well, it's something that not everybody agrees with, right? That's the point of hot takes or Subway takes.
Right. But there's got to be some logic behind it.
Yeah. The only thing I could think of that makes any kind of sense is that you add bacon to stuff to enhance the thing. You know, you enhance the main thing. But yeah, I disagree. I disagree with that it's a spice. It could be spicy. But yeah, I disagree.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I'd still take Kamala Harris over Trump with her bacon views any day of the week.
Even with the bacon views?
Even with the
I
bacon
said
views,
yes,
I'm fine with
based
that.
on the fact that it would be a good story, and also they both had good takes.
What happened with Kamala?
Her take was really confusing and weird and not good, and so mutually agreed that we shouldn't publish it.
I see.
And I got lucky because I didn't want to be blamed for her losing.
Her take was that bad?
It was really, really bad, and it was like didn't make any sense. I can tell you, it was bacon. Bacon as a spice. Bacon as a spice.
Bacon is a spice.
All right, so we don't get any explanation, but it's a weird sentence. But I'm sure there's some kind of logic that she's going with. I don't know what it is, but I still take her over Trump any day of the week.
Thanks to Steve Bertoni on TikTok for that clip from Subway Takes.
I the slightest.
I don't know. I'm sure a lot of Democrats feel like you, like, oh, we would be so much better off without Trump. But I feel like you got to look at that and go, well, maybe not. Maybe not. If you could come up with bacon as a spice, I don't know if you could run the country. I mean, that's really dumb. I'd have to think of some of the dumb things that Trump has said.
He said a lot of stupid stuff. Like,
this is up there.
I know about. You know what I know about magnets is you pour water on them and boom, that's the end of the magnet. He's actually said that.
The shark battery thing was weird and stupid. There was
shark battery thing, the Hannibal Lecter thing. There was a literal just. You could write a book on the stupid shit that he said. So,
but bacon as a spice.
Bacon is a spice.
That is right. Oh, and I misquoted. They mutually agreed to not put it. Like, that is so. When your own team is like, oh fuck, no. They're probably the ones who you don't just go into that with nothing. You get your people together and you go, okay, somebody write me a hot take. Like, somebody's got to give me something good. And they fucking came out of that room with bacon as a spice. Holy shit.
It's a weird hot take or a Subway take or whatever, but it's not. It's you know, I feel like they could have come up with something better, but it's supposed to be something that nobody's.
It scares
saying.
I'll tell you what it does to me. Honestly, it reassures me that you need a primary. You need a 3 to 6 month period of having somebody in the public eye auditioning for the job that, you know, can fucking, show what they can do. And that's what happens throughout these things. You go, ooh, I don't like that. Or, oh, I really like this. And you kind of get to know the person.
Yeah. Her views on bacon aside, she would have been a much better president.
I don't know. That's a rough one.
I'm pretty sure I got that one nailed.
I love the confidence. I have a hard time getting behind bacon as a spice. That's an all-time dumb take. Like, if that was said in our friend group, that's something that a friend of ours could have said in grammar school, and 35 years later we could be like, remember that dumb thing that Chris said? Remember when Chris thought bacon was a spice? How fucking stupid that guy was. I'm just saying, like, we would never let that go. We would just never let something like that go.
Well, I think isn't that the point of Subway Takes? It's supposed to be something that no one's ever said and nobody thinks of, that it's supposed to be their own kind of
If they think bacon as a spice is interesting, then holy shit.
Well, whatever. I'll still doesn't sway my vote in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I'll take bacon as I'll wear a t-shirt that says bacon is a spice over any of the bullshit that we've had to deal with over the past 7 months.
I'll tell you, the only thing missing at JSAB's 4th of July celebration was bacon, now that I think about it. I didn't think about there was a lack of bacon. But I'll tell you what I told JSAB's.
It wasn't missing.
Was there bacon? Then I just missed the bacon?
Oh, yeah. You missed. My friend made a special bacon appetizer.
Oh, shit. I wasn't there for the appetizer course.
What was the appetizer?
It was just candied bacon, but it was actually really good.
Oh, I like a candied bacon. I thought you were going to tell me she crumpled up bacon and sprinkled it onto the top of the burgers like a salt, like a pepper.
See, why can't that be? That could be something.
because bacon comes in slabs and slices. That's why. Nobody's grinding up bacon. Fucking idiot. I'm telling you, we dodged the bullet there, Frankie. See, I know you don't want to believe it, but anyway, listen. Let's get to the point of the matter. This is a classy move on JSAB's part. They make cheeseburgers. They put, and you might not think this is a big deal, but it's a big deal. They put lettuce, tomato, and red onion on a plate so you can dress the burger. That's fucking class. I don't care who you are.
What else would you do?
Because how many times you go to a barbecue and you got ketchup and mustard and that's it? You want a burger or a cheeseburger, you can put ketchup and mustard on top. Not these people. They were like, we're going to slice some tomato. We're going to get the nice lettuce. And we're going to cut up some red onion so you can put it on and have yourself a nice, tasty burger. There was mayo.
Oh, and pickles too.
Oh, there was pickles. I forgot to say there was pickles. I didn't partake in the pickles. Sensitive, intestines. But
you did the onions?
There was pickles. I didn't do the onions either. I just did the tomato, to be honest with you. But I got my own issues.
That's very acidy.
It's very acidy. I did power through. I was very worried about July 4th at Janine's because usually you get there at like 1 o'clock or whatever, and then you don't stop eating until you get in the car at 10:30 at night. Like that's, and that's a problem. For me.
Always good food at JSAB's.
Don't tell Janine, but I literally ate before we went there because I was terrified of wanting to eat everything in sight.
She's on the show right now, right?
Oh yeah, don't tell me.
Yeah, but I don't like talking. I don't like giving her compliments directly. I like pretending like she's not in the room, so it's not awkward for me.
Respectful.
And then, I would have probably enjoyed the bacon if it wasn't for the fucking animals that can't save something for somebody who's a couple hours late. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the justice in that?
Just a few hours.
But then I'm talking to the roommate, and I go, the ribs were fucking phenomenal. He's like, oh, I made this whole spice thing, and I was like, well, mine wasn't spicy. He goes, oh, then you had the ones that Janine made. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just spent like an hour sucking his dick. And meanwhile, it was Janine's, it was the Janine rib that I had instead of the spicy rib.
Two different kinds of rib.
I couldn't even have because of the sensitive intestines.
Oh, so then what are you complaining about? You had the rib that you could handle.
I went for the rub rib, which is not necessarily a safe bet because you don't, there's all sorts of stuff in there, cumin and whatnot.
I like both. I like ribs with the rub. That's not a bunch of sauce. The sauce. I like sauce, but it can get messy. I like a nice dry.
Yes.
Rib. That's good stuff too.
We're an hour and 30 in, and you're finally saying something that makes sense. This is what I love. Keep going.
I try to get at least one in each show.
JSAB's dry rub or sauce on your ribs?
What's
your preference?
This is really, really tough.
I
like a good dry rub because it's like eating beef jerky. It's like it's pork, but it's like eating some kind of jerky. It's good. And sauce gets everywhere.
If you held a knife to my throat, it would probably be a sauce.
Like a barbecue?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Husband, which kind would you like? He's listening.
We're going to hear from the roommate. This is amazing.
You have to speak up a little bit louder. He said dry.
That sounded robotic to me.
That's how the roommate talks. Dry.
This guy's on the live, Tim, so.
That sounds like you have an app on your phone. That's dry.
Frankie C, it was a good time, though. Not one, but two trifles. Again, the amount of class just reverberating through this event was...
That's 6 layers of awesome.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. I didn't have the trifle either. That was hard.
What about the homemade ice cream cake?
Okay. I have a little bone to pick with that. And I don't want to cause a problem here because...
Here we go.
You
can't just enjoy things. You can't just go there and say... Even if you didn't like the ice cream cake, you could have just said, oh, that sounds... I couldn't have it, but it sounds great. Way to go. Here you go. Now shit on the ice cream cake.
I have a penchant for the truth. Can I help it? I'm sorry. And I'm going to say this, and it has more to do with me than the person who made it. Okay?
It's a shock.
again, sensitive intestines. So I can't really eat a lot of these things. And I'm feeling a moment of weakness on July 4th. Cuddles goes and gets a bit of dessert. And I'm like, I'll just pick off your plate. But I know there's fruit. So I'm like, I can have a couple of pieces of fruit and get through it. And then somebody goes homemade ice cream cake. Now my head is spinning because I'm like, I'll put myself in the hospital for a homemade ice cream cake. Like I will, it's going to be worth the risk. So now panic is setting in and I'm trying to talk myself down from this ledge of I'm going to get up and I'm going to cut a big piece of ice cream cake, right? Somebody eats it, says it's delicious. Ask the person who, Ginny, please don't share this with the person who made it. It was very nice. Ask for the recipe. And the recipe was Cool Whip mixed with ice cream sandwiches and frozen.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Meghan Markle, but we're stretching the word homemade here. Okay.
Wow.
We are stretching the terminology homemade. I get that you constructed it in your home.
I'm kind of with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, did she make like a cream base and like freeze the ice cream on her own and put like mix-ins in? Like fun, like who doesn't love a fun little mix-in? You know, little Oreo, little whatever. All this stuff. And I'm thinking like it was this whole thing. And I mean, an ice cream cake is not easy to make. You got to bake the ice cream, then you got to melt it and shape it and, you know, put all your stuff in and do the whole thing. It's not easy. And then I go to find out it's Cool Whip and ice cream sandwiches, which by the way,
you didn't even have it.
I didn't even have it. And I'll tell you why. Because ice cream sandwiches are not Bobby approved. And I don't know if you know this, but next time you go take an ice cream sandwich, take the ice cream sandwich out, put it in your sink and leave it there for an entire day. When you go back the next day, it will still look like the ice cream sandwich that you left behind. Okay?
No, it will not. I've seen ice cream sandwiches melt.
Nope.
No.
Ice cream sandwiches do not melt, and I'll tell you why. Thanks to Bobby, they put artificial binders in the ice cream sandwich so that while it's getting delivered, it gets a little melty, it doesn't lose its shape. You can't sell a smushed, crummy looking ice cream sandwich out of the store. It's got to be perfect looking. So they put all these chemicals and binders that God knows what kind of cancer it causes in us and inflammation and whatever else, just so that it looks nice, so that it'll last, so they can sell it. But I
could swear that while I'm eating an ice cream sandwich, it's melting everywhere. There's no way it keeps its shape that long.
I've seen the videos. You'll see a little melt.
Oh, well, then it's got to be true.
There'll be like a little melt, like there's like a little. It looks like somebody put a little splash, did this little milk around it. You go like, bloop. But for the most part, the whole thing structurally is still there. You can go buy any ice cream sandwich.
Shenanigans.
Go do it. I will send you. I don't even know what's a box of ice cream sandwiches. $6.99. I will Venmo you $6.99 so that you can do this experiment at no cost to yourself. I'll give you a toll-free number. That's basically it's. I'm telling you. And you go look at Bobby approved. Search this right now. Search Bobby approved ice cream sandwiches. He does this whole thing. He's like, here, look at, there's like 4 binders. It depends on what brand you get too. But there's like multiple, there was one brand that had 4 binders in there. 4 artificially, chemically binders just to kind of keep the shape of an ice cream. It's not even fucking remotely close to real ice cream. So again, for the young lady who brought the ice cream, I applaud her. Everybody loved it. It has nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with my own little issues that are going on right now, where I was ready to put myself in the hospital for a homemade ice cream sandwich. Go to find out a homemade ice cream cake. Go to find out it's a bunch of ice cream sandwiches. I was a little disappointed. Again, no fault of the young lady who brought it. Does that sound bad? I feel like I've vindicated. She did a wonderful job at.
Yeah, how about you go try to make one?
I feel like it should have just been an ice cream cake, but I would homemade is a stretch, but I'm sure there was effort. You know, it doesn't. I'm sure it wasn't just unwrap it and put it in a thing.
No, it could have been easy. Probably took her 14 minutes. I don't know. I don't want to sound like how long would it take to unwrap some ice cream sandwich?
Yeah. I don't know how big this thing was. You had to shape it into a cake.
I'm not going to be able to face. This is my last one because Janine's going to send the clip to this girl, and she's never going to look. That girl is scary enough. She was scared. She scares the shit out of me. That girl. She looks like she's intense. She told a story about how at work she scares the shit out of everybody. And I'm like, I can see it. I get it.
Ice cream sandwiches have the two top layers. You know, the top layer and the bottom layer. Now, was it all just mashed up into a shape of a cake, or was it like?
How would you describe it?
You layer it. You layer it.
Oh, so she took the ice cream sandwiches, just stacked them on each other and into a shape of a cake?
I think there was only 2 layers, and in between the layers was, what did you say, Cool Whip?
Yeah, Cool Whip. So she put a layer, picture a pan, and she put a layer of ice cream sandwiches, put Cool Whip on top of that. I think like Oreo maybe? Was there Oreo in it?
Yes, there was, yes.
And then she put a layer of ice cream sandwiches on top of that, and then more Cool Whip, and then more like Oreo. So it's more of a ice cream sandwich lasagna than anything else.
Gotcha.
In fact, that would have been a better name for it. Ice cream sandwich lasagna. Now you're telling everybody what time it is, you know. This way, for those of us with sensitive intestines, we can steer clear if we need to. Because I gave Cuddles a look like we're going straight to the hospital after this. Like, I'm gonna fucking eat that shit.
I think whoever made it was very nice to have made it, and I'm sure it was delicious.
You always have to be such a nice guy. Can't we give anybody a little bit of honest truth without you trying to sugarcoat it?
You're an asshole. How's that? You happy? That worked out for you?
Other than that, it was great. The fireworks were great.
Oh, you're welcome.
The kid, thanks for arranging that. The kids were catching fireflies on the lawn. It was the only way it could have been better is if we were all going to the baseball field to play under the fireworks, like in Sandlot. That was the only. Other than that, it was the most American kind of 4th of July celebration with hot dogs and fireflies and
nice
fireworks. It was lovely. We had an amazing time. So thank you, Jason.
Why, thank you. And now I have to go watch a show.
Okay.
I mean, I'm so tired. I have to go to sleep. But I really wish I could stay.
That's it. It's the end of the show. Unless you guys have
made it to the end.
Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else. You got anything that's on your mind?
I got something for you Wednesday. Not right now, though. It's going to take too long. That's what she said.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll wait for
that.
I hope
when you tease it.
Is it a homemade ice cream cake recipe?
No.
Can you tease what it is?
It's a what would you do situation.
Oh, I like those.
All right.
I like
we'll see what that is on Wednesday.
So, what would you do?
Stay tuned. Yeah.
J Sabs.
Very nice. Tune in on Wednesday, everyone.
J Sabs, everybody.
Very cool. Well, make sure you pick up Oval, book written by Erin. Anthony's got a copy around there somewhere. It's a wonderful book. Available on Amazon. Link in the description below. You could buy a hard copy like Anthony's holding up, or download a digital copy today. Oval, a novel written by Erin C.
My favorite part of Oval is if you go to, this is chapter 10 here, where she goes, I know this doesn't fit into the rest of this novel, but bacon is not a spice. That's my favorite part of the book.
That's underrated. Whenever she does a reading somewhere, that's the part she reads.
They always ask for that. That's the closer. Yeah, that's the closer.
Right. Exactly.
All right, that's it for us. We'll see you on Wednesday with J Sab's Hot Topic, and we'll see where this Epstein stuff goes from here. Have a great one.
No meat, potato salad.
Enjoy that Taco Tuesday, everybody. Oh my God.
Maybe we should go now.
Go ahead. The bacon on top. That's how you know it's good. It's good bacon season.